All right, you probably clicked on this video because you probably want to get into sales, right? You probably just graduated college. You probably want to start making some real deal money, want to understand sales, persuasion, and all those different aspects, right? SDR position, sales development representative, right? No matter what industry you are, software tech, medical sales, like whatever it is, sales is the best bet to go. If you are thinking about sales, go all in. Give it everything you have because you now are in control of how much money you make. You're now in control of, a lot of things. When you're working only on salary, no matter how hard you work, no matter what you produce, you're only gonna get compensated, that amount. When you're compensated based off commission and your performance, now again, you're the dictator of how much you're gonna get compensated each month. That's why I love sales. I love sales because it's always a needed skill set to have. If you understand sales, you will never be out of a job. You'll never be out of money. You'll never be out of, good things coming your way because sales is such an important skill set to have. No matter what industry, no matter what age you are, no matter what sex you are, sales is a needed skill set. Right? For every business to grow, there needs to be a successful sales department, right? So just understand that aspect. So what makes a good SDR, right? I was an SDR for about 10 and a half months. I'm at a software startup company called Nuve. I started as an SDR with no prior experience. I had never cold called at all. Didn't really know what I was doing, right? The funny thing about how I got this opportunity was I met a man named Christian at 24-Hour Fitness. I made a promise to myself about a year and a half ago that I was gonna work out for 365 days straight with no sort of misses. And as I started on this journey of doing that, right, and putting myself against the wall and facing a lot of hardships and taking those challenges head on, I started seeing the same people over and over and over again. And one of those people was Christian. Started seeing him a lot, actually worked out a few times together, and we exchanged information. And, I learned a little bit about him. He learned a little bit about me. Prior to me being at Nuve, I was in the clothing industry, working at a clothing brand. And I was working at a clothing brand, and I was telling him that I love sales. I love persuasion. I love talking to people. I want to get into sales and really have that skill set down. And at the time, he was a personal driver for this successful entrepreneur. He's like, hey, my boss just started up this startup company. He's super successful in the HVAC space. You should give it a try. They're looking for sales rep. Apply in person. It's right down the street. And I was like, I looked into it and I was like, and just over enough, time, he got me to come in and just apply. And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose, everything to gain, right? So I went in, I applied, I got interviewed, and felt pretty good. I had a role play, a case scenario about our product, and I had no prior, experience when it came to cold calling. I didn't even do much research, what I should have done in the early stage before I even got interviewed. But fast forward, we role played, I did horrible, right? As anyone who had no prior experience when it comes to cold calling would do. Got the opportunity, started, I think, mid-October when I took on this role as an SDR. And it was me and another person, his name's Kristen, started as the only two SDRs. At that time, we had no account executives, so management was running these. So we had our CRO running these calls, as well as we had our head of sales running these calls. And it was just us four, basically. And we didn't really have much resources, much of a script. We had some sort of direction, but not much in the early stages. And it was basically just jump into the fire, here you go. Give it a shot, give it a ring. And I remember when I first started, I was so nervous, right? There was a good looking girl who sat to the left of me. She was a account executive, but she started initially as an SDR. And I just remember, I was like, I have a pretty girl sitting to the left of me. She's gonna judge me because I'm probably gonna stutter. I'm probably gonna not know what to say, this and that. So I was all in my head. It was very quiet in this office. As you guys can see, I'm actually in the office. But when I first started, there was about 6 or 7 people in a big old office. So when you talk, it echoed, right? We didn't have all these desks and all these people, back in October, about 10 months ago. And I just remember I sucked. I got hung up on, I stuttered. I didn't know the right objections to say. I failed. And there was points in this journey where I was like, is cold calling for me? Is being an SDR for me? Which is very normal. And I just told myself, I was like, I'm gonna be obsessed with this. I'm gonna learn the ins and outs of what it takes to become a successful SDR, what it takes to understand rejection, to have a positive outlook when it comes to rejection. Because if you guys do not know, you're gonna face a lot of rejection, a lot. When it comes to cold calling, it's such a beautiful aspect of sales, and most people look at it in a negative connotation or a negative light. Oh, you're gonna get cussed at, you're gonna get told no, it sucks, this and that. But if your viewpoint of cold calling and being an SDR is like, this is gonna help me develop into a better man or develop myself into a better woman, because I'm gonna accept and have a relationship with rejection, as far as this is needed for me to get a yes, right? Or this is gonna help me understand persuasion, help me understand negotiation, help me understand persistence, help me understand discipline, help me understand willpower. So it teaches me everything about life on top of sales that I can apply it to other aspects of my life. I would not be the man who I am today if it wasn't for cold calling. And that's why I'm such a big advocate for being an SDR, for doing sales. And that's why I'm making this video, because there's probably people out there who don't know what to do, who want to get into sales but don't know where to start. I'm making this video for you because you need to jump into sales. You're gonna learn so much about yourself. It's gonna help you make more money. It's gonna help you put more personal development into yourself. It's gonna help you understand how important sales is. It's gonna help you understand everything about what life is, right? Sales is life. You sell yourself in an interview. You sell yourself to a girl to go on a date with you. You sell yourself for people, your friends, to like you. You sell yourself when you put on particular items and clothes and look presentable, right? Everything in life is sales. So why not get good at it? Why not have that skill set in the back of your pocket and be a master salesperson or sales rep, right? So when I initially started, I started watching a bunch of SDR podcasts, cold calling podcasts, understanding different verbiage, understanding what works, what doesn't, understanding what other cold callers are saying within different industries that I can apply to the HVAC world, right? So we didn't have much direction, and we were just kind of put in the fire. And it was through trial and error how we learned, right? We understood all the common objections. We understood when people wanted to hear us out and when they did. We understood how many dials you need to make in a certain day to make a certain, to book a certain amount of demos, right? But it was all through trial and error. And what I'm getting to in this video is to be a successful SDR, all you need is persistence, is having this learner's mindset, and to be hungry for success. You don't need any sort of experience. You don't even really need to know like all the product information, features, this and that. Yes, it's very beneficial to know, but if you want to be successful, all you need is persistence, willpower, and hungry, and just a determination to fucking find a way. That's really all it takes. And another aspect I'll say is you need to be very creative. You can't just be very one-dimensional as far as cold calling. Yes, $100 in a day, you'll get some success, but you have to think outside the box. How can I get this person or this company to set aside 30 minutes of their own time to hop on a demo call with us, right? Can I show them a visual of why another company took advantage of, or another company went with us and rather than another company? Can I showcase something that's beneficial for them to see the whole value, right? So you want to be creative, but if you have persistence, you will win. If you're hungry for success, you will win. If you're creative within your role, you will win. I was the employee of the quarter when it comes to SDR. And the biggest reason is because I was obsessed. Every single second I was working on role playing with my friends. I was studying different objections, how to acknowledge when they give me an objection like I'm not interested. And I was literally obsessed. Like all I did was eat, breathe, and sleep sales. So you just have to be hungry for success. And the biggest thing was my persistence. I thought, okay, how can I maximize my efforts on top of me just cold calling, right? So I sent emails, I sent text messages. And the biggest thing I realized was emails were cool because they didn't convert as high, but they were good touch points. Oh, I've seen Nuve before. Oh, I've seen Brandon Wilson reach out to me. Oh, this is another email by Brandon. Oh, he called me, he left me a voicemail. But the biggest bread and butter that allowed me to have the most success was text messages. Sending text messages to their personal direct lines, right? With personalized messages. Hey, so-and-so, it's Brandon with Nuve. Reason I'm calling or reason I'm reaching out is because this and that. This contractor's taking advantage because of this, and this is what's helped them. Would love to visually showcase more information over a 20-minute call. You have any availability this week? Right? Just making it short and sweet, direct, concise, to the point with some sort of visual, right? And with text messages, it's a lot more intimate. They're more likely to respond. I started reaching out to this one contractor, right? I think in February. I would text him 3 times a week, some sort of value. Hey, this is what this contractor's doing. This is how this contractor's taking advantage of peak season, etc. With some sort of visuals. For 6 or 7 months, he did not reply. I didn't get one message from him. But I just converted him and booked him for a demo last month. It was like 7 or 8 months of constant text messages, 2 to 3 times a week with no reply. My persistence allowed me to be successful. So again, if you're hungry for success, if you have the persistence to never fucking stop, no matter if you get cussed at, no matter if you're not seeing the results, no matter if you want to quit and you're still willing to try and get up from failure, and still take steps forward, you're going to be successful on top of being creative and thinking outside the box and not just being a one-dimensional cold caller. You're going to be creative. Those are the 3 ways that allowed me to be an SDR, to being the top SDR every single month, from now being an SDR manager with 10 plus people underneath me on my team, right? It's a great opportunity no matter what industry you're in because you learn so much about yourself and you learn so much about life. The best skill set you can have today is sales. Again, everything in this world is sales. You sell yourself in every aspect. You sell yourself when you walk in a room. You sell yourself to a girl to go on a date with you, to marry you, to be with you. You sell yourself when you walk in an interview, when you talk, when you present yourself. Everything is sales. So again, why not get good at the thing that you can control, right? It's gonna help you make more money. It's gonna help you be more confident. It's gonna help you be an asset in this marketplace. Learn sales, because when you get good at cold calling, every other aspect of sales is easy. It's very easy because cold calling, most people don't even want to step in the arena. Most people are scared and it's hard to get into. You're going to have anxiety, you're going to have fear, you're going to have doubt, but you just have to push through. You really just have to push through, and it's through constant repetitions, it's through constant reps, it's through constant role playing how you get better. It's really just trial and error. You can't jump from A to Z when it comes to cold calling. You just have to go through the reps. You just have to go from A to B to B to C to C to D to D to F, right? You just have to be willing to take the steps needed and just be hungry for it. So if you're thinking about getting into sales, I highly, highly recommend. You can make over 6 figures easily. I was making 6 figures within like 4 months of me understanding the whole dynamics of cold calling, right? Just be invested into every aspect. Be a learner. No matter if you're having a great month, the best month in the company history, or you had the worst month in the whole company history, be willing to continue to learn. Ask questions. People look at asking questions as like a bad thing, like, oh, that person's dumb, that person doesn't know. It's the person who's not willing to ask questions that is going to see the most. Is the person who's gonna, experience failure because their ego or their pride's in the way, right? So be willing to step aside. So be willing to set aside your pride and your ego and be willing to learn. Again, no matter if you had your best month or your worst month, or you're just starting, or you know nothing about sales, be a constant learner. I'm telling you guys, you have that approach. You're creative, you're persistent, and you're hungry for success. You will win as an SDR and make a lot of money. So hopefully this video helped. Let me know if you guys want more information as far as being an SDR and go from there. So I appreciate all you guys. and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.